Hey everybody, I am going to bring you guys down to Brookville Lake with me, or at least for the drive. So here we go. I'm going to flip the camera around so that way you guys can see the front. The pretty. There we go. Oh, my little ghosty fell over. Huh. Alrighty. And away we go. Roll up my window. Oh, sorry. Alrighty. Hello everybody. Sorry I can't really read chat because I'm driving. But glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, okay. Hi, Ryan. Sorry, the screen's a little bit far away. You guys are kind of like right up at the dash, at the windshield. And as you can see, it's kind of cloudy and sunny. So the brightness is kind of going up and down on my phone. Also making it a little bit more difficult to read the chat. But thanks for coming along on my drive. I appreciate it. And we will have an interesting trip. Hope everybody's day is going well. Please like this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I would love to have you as a part of my channel family. I do a lot of travel streams and stuff with my doggo. In fact, yesterday was his birthday, but he wasn't feeling very well, so we're gonna do it later. Hey Pam, good to see ya. Hi Lucky. Welcome to the road trip, guys. No fighting in the back seat or the front seat. It's kind of hard to read chat, so if you wouldn't mind just kind of doing me a favor and talk amongst yourselves, I will look at chat when I can. Is it too windy? Can somebody let me know if it's too windy, please? I don't have my window open, but I do have my sunroof open, so I don't know if that's making too much noise or not. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Pam. I appreciate it. So we are headed down to Brookville Lake. It is a lake created by the Army Corps of Engineers. And hold on. Oh, okay, they're just doing landscaping. Not sure if that white truck was created in the 1940s, 50s, around that time period, by damming up the Brookville River and thereby flooding the little town of Fairfield, Indiana. You can get some good history on that. It was a great little town. It makes me a little sad to think about that part of it. There was a wonderful little town and a lot of history. And there was another little town, I think it was called Monon? No. Morton? Something with an M. That was a kind of a little neighboring town to Fairfield. Not as big. Not as big as Fairfield. Of course, Fairfield was only a few hundred people. But there was another little town that was flooded as well. There are still structures and foundations down there at the bottom. I don't scuba dive, but there are videos, maybe on YouTube, I don't know. I haven't seen them on YouTube, but I haven't looked. So there are videos of people who have gone scuba diving down there, and have found foundations and like the tile floor of what they believe was a church. Some of the residents who were born and raised in Brookville, born and raised in Fairfield, are still in this area. So they'll go back every once in a while and kind of reminisce about their beautiful little town. There is swimming and fishing in the lake. I don't plan on doing either of those. I'm meeting a few friends down there for a picnic out in the nice fresh air. As much as I love thunderstorms, I hope we don't get one while we're down there. Although if we do, it's just water and things will dry, but I hope not. Don't want to be eating soggy food. Sorry, like I said, it's hard to read the chat while I'm driving, so I'm not really going to be reading a whole lot of it. I will read it when I finish. I'll go back and read all the chat and respond to folks as I can. But this is a state highway where the speed is 60, 55. A lot of people go way over that, so as you can understand, I'm going to be paying attention to the road and reading paying attention to the road rather than reading. But it's a beautiful drive. As you can see, things are all green from our recent rains. I actually go down to this area fairly frequently, so I'll see if I can do this again in the fall. And then maybe in the winter. I'm not a big snow driving fan. Don't really like doing drives in snow very often. Hello, officer. I am not speeding or doing anything of the such, so not worried about seeing an officer. In fact, I love seeing them. As you've probably noticed, and there's one turning just in front of us, a lot of semi-traffic. It's a very kind of narrow, older road. This is Indiana 27. It kind of goes straight down the eastern edge of the state. So a lot of semis do use this road to go back and forth from like the Cincinnati area in Ohio up to the Fort Wayne area and to hit the major east-west interstate of 70. So, you know what, I'm going to close this just a little bit. No, that's not helpful. Okay. It's not super warm. In fact, I like being warm, so I just really love using my my sunroof when I can, because I love having that option. I'm not necessarily hot, but I do like circulating air. It's a very pretty view right now with the the puffy clouds and the green empty fields, or not empty, but green newly planted fields. Main crops around here are soybean and corn, and they rotate them because I guess like they're good for each other. Like one will strip certain nutrients out of the land and let other ones grow, abundant. And then the next crop that they plant is the crop that needs those nutrients that was left over when the first crop stripped the other nutrients. I'm not a farmer, I'm not an agriculturalist. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But I do know that they rotate crops because, like, I'm just pulling this out of thin air, but like corn will strip nitrate out of the ground and leave phosphate. I don't know anything, but I'm just picking those two elements. And then soybean needs the phosphate but doesn't need the nitrate, so it'll strip the phosphate but leave the nitrate, so then they go back and plant the corn that needs the nitrate and strips, leaves the phosphate, so on and so forth. They do also have like a barren time where they kind of let the fields go back for a year or so, to kind of balance everything out again. And I guess they can also do that chemically now. I'm sure they can do a lot chemically, but like I said, I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, so I've lived in Indiana for about 15 years, but I'm still not very aware of how farming and agriculture go. I'm learning, and I admit I'm still in the stage where I'm stunned and in awe, and a little bit, my inner child gets excited when I see farm vehicles on the road, or like those big, the really tall vehicles that can go over the corn crops and stuff. They look like Transformers or something. It's still really cool and exciting for me to see. And just in case you're wondering, no, I'm not one of those people that tailgate the farmers and their tractors or their harvesting equipment. I love and respect our farmers. Without those men and women and families, we would not have food. So I give them plenty of space. I respect their machinery and the width and room that it needs. And I am in awe of people who still can work with the land like that and have such a wonderful symbiotic relationship with the Mother Earth. I love that. I think too many humans are tearing the planet apart. And yes, I know a lot of farmers use chemicals, and there's a big thing about, using farm chemicals and stuff, and I'm not going to weigh in on that either way. I am not a fan, but on the other hand, I understand what we've driven them to have to do. But that's all I'm going to say on that. This road, these little hills that we're going up are, leftover shale tillings from glaciers as they moved down from Canada and the northern part of the globe. Indiana's very flat, but as we go further south, it does have some sort of hilly areas. We do have a ski resort in Indiana. It's kind of down by the Cincinnati area where it's a little bit more hilly, obviously. I mean, you can't ski on any of these hills. But we do have sledding hills, a lot of those. We're coming into the sweet little town of Liberty, Indiana. Liberty. has one of those amazing quintessential small town courthouse squares. So I'm going to do a little bit of a side drive through here. It's like 1 block, because as most small towns, the main road goes right past the courthouse, because, you know, that's where everything happened. And I'll show you the little courthouse square and the cute little buildings. And that's one of the things that I have loved since I've moved here from the California cities, is the actual courthouse squares. Like, we don't have those, or at least in the part of California I'm from, we don't. Some parts do. Yep, some more semis. But growing up, you know, watching movies, and I worked at Universal Studios Hollywood for a while, and so, you know, I would go to like the courthouse square set in the Universal backlot, like where Back to the Future was filmed, and a lot of films were filmed in that courthouse set, courthouse square. And I always kind of dreamt of, you know, seeing the courthouse square. Up there is a animal trailer. Okay, so here's the courthouse square. And Major General Ambrose Burnside, was born in Liberty. I did not know that. He was big in the Battle of Antietam and Civil War. So this is the little courthouse square. Oh geez. I don't know how I got my windshield wipers on, but okay, stop. Alright, sorry. Okay, windshield wiper freak out. Okay, there we go. This is the courthouse square of Liberty. That is really interesting about Burnside. I did not know that. The little Civil War thought on Major General Burnside. There's a story, and I don't know if it's true, because, you know, a lot of stuff gets passed around, that he had hair growing down the side of his face, like many men did at the time, and that's how they got the sideburns. Was a configuration of Burnside? I don't know, though. To me, that seems off, because I don't know, maybe they just didn't call them sideburns before then, but many men had that style before the Civil War. I mean, that was an extremely common way to have facial hair for men. So I don't know that it was really called, like I said, maybe it just wasn't called sideburns before him. But anyway, that was the town of Liberty. Very, very cute little town. Cincinnati is 53 miles from here. Coming up on the left, if you can see that brick Victorian house, I love that house. At Christmas time, they just have simple plain white lights and a single Christmas tree in the upstairs balcony. And I think it's so elegant. I love it. So anyway, we're now on Indiana Route 101. And we're coming up on the cemetery for the town of Liberty. Or not just the town, but for the area. Over here on the left. It's a beautiful little cemetery. It's Calvary. And one of these days, I'm gonna go walk through there and just kind of take a look at the sights and pay respects. That's another one of my favorite things about these little towns and this part of the country is there's so many just little beautiful little cemeteries off the side of the road. Cemeteries that I was used to or am used to are huge. My home cemetery that most of my family is interred in is Forest Lawn Hills in Glendale, California, which is right where Michael Jackson is interned and a lot of celebrities, because Glendale was a lot of Hollywood history back in the day. It's huge. I don't know if you guys had seen anything about Michael Jackson's services or anything, but they have like 16-foot wrought iron gates at the front of the cemetery, and it's like this whole mountaintop is the cemetery.